Hi, welcome to my new Studio One professional video tutorial. It's been quite a while that I've been away. A lot of things happened. I've changed countries. I was living in London, came back to Athens, Greece, my hometown. Lockdowns, pandemics, and a lot of stuff that took me away. I decided to focus on other things than video tutorials. And now that back in Athens and another lockdown is coming upon us, I've decided to, just focus on my YouTube channel a bit and create a new video series. So studioone 5 is out, which is a great new version of studioone, full of new features. But I have a few. Too many people are asking me what studioone does, what is different, what does different comparing to other systems and DAWs and stuff. So I decided to take it from scratch now, since studioone 5.1 is out, and take it from scratch and see how studioone starts, how it looks like, what the basics are, and do baby steps, how to connect your sound card to the system, and see and help you guys configure your studioone, see the basics and go to the more advanced features. So this is how the studioone professional looks like when you start. So it recognizes your USB card or your Firewire card or your Thunderbolt card, whatever you have on your system. Now I use a presonus Studio 192, which is a great USB 3 card for my system. I'm on Windows 10 system, so works great for the last 5 years that I own this card. I'm very happy with it, and I think it's highly recommended for anybody under a Windows platform that they don't have a Thunderbolt connection. So we have the setup here on the bottom. It has a configure audio device, configure external devices, check for updates, about studioone. Here you can set up your artist profile, so your name, your genre, your website, if you have here your website. So you can click here. I'll put my website over here. You can put your genre like rock metal, let's say. You can connect your SoundCloud, so you can when you master something in your project page, you can literally upload it to SoundCloud and stream it to your fans. Literally, you can click here and upload like an avatar, like a picture, something that really looks like you or something. So you can have your artist profile which is connected to your SoundCloud. Here's a news feed. You get direct news from presonus, or like tutorials from presonus themselves, or you get any updates, news or anything like that. Here you have the latest one, that virtual meetups for presonus community, and there's another link here that get demos and tutorials, so you can click there and get official demos and tutorials from studioone and presonus themselves. So on the top line we have the new song link, the new project, the new show, which is a new feature for studioone 5. So what you get with a new show, I'll show you on another tutorial. And you can open an existing file from the project, from the program itself. So let's start with configuring the audio device from that page over here. So click on here and it comes to the audio page, audio setup. So you have your audio device here. So you can change the block size. You always have the sample rate over here, the latency. So you have the first information that you need. You can, if you have different interfaces, you can change the different interfaces, or you can jump between the different interfaces, or you go to the Windows Audio. This is my own board, motherboard card, and then you can go back to processing. So processing is the dropout protection, is something that compensates the latency from within the system. So how that works is if I open here my UC control and I literally minimize the block size for about 64, but if I do it now, I'll have problems with my recording because I record directly through the interface. And then I leave the block to 2048, then I'll have I'll be able to monitor the latency to the minimum from within the studioone. So the good thing with that one is studioone has a built-in latency monitoring system for the instruments. You see that here is enabled. What that means is that you can and also the engine of the system is 64-bit, which is quite accurately, which that means that it does processing the signal double the time that's supposed to. That's quite a lot of processing that the engine does itself. If we go here to the advanced, you have, so let's take the options one by one. So general, you have your language here. You can ask studioone to do different things like open the last song project show, open default song projects, or create a brand new song by the moment it starts. I have it to do nothing and also check for updates every time. If you have a high resolution monitor, you can enable the DPI mode. So you have like a more high resolution from the studioone and the plugins. In the appearance, you can change the color. You see the saturation here is changing and the luminance is changing. Okay. Keyboard shortcuts, you can modify. You can preload Cubase, Logic, Pro Tools, and Cakewalk, or you can import and export. You can import from another DAW your shortcuts, and export these ones that you have and keep them somewhere safe, just in case something's wrong with your system and you need to just rebuild it, and then you can import it back again. And also you can press here, assign something like I don't know, 3. It tells you here that is a toolbar tool already assigned to number 3, so you can do that again, or if you do that, you're going to lose the pre-assigned configuration, so we don't want to do that. Backspace is already assigned, so anyway, we don't want to do that again. So if you go to network, it says allow remote control apps to discover this DAW. That means that if you have, for any reason, studioone and presonus have some fantastic applications to control your DAW for your tablet, from your phone. So if you have that application installed or your mobile device, you can enable the Wi-Fi on your mobile device, and that will be discovered from the DAW itself. So you can easily record yourself and control the DAW from your phone or your tablet without being close to your system. So you can be to your, like, let's say, to your next room, and still be able to record yourself from the next room while using your tablet. Here in the locations, you can ask studioone to save all the songs, projects, shows, etc. on your own pre-configured folder. You see here I'm having on the D folder, which is my large hard drive. File types, this is the file types over here that studioone identifies by default, but also you can add more. Sound sets, these are the sound sets that they come with studioone Live, studioone Professional, and you can save it on different locations. Okay. Instruments, the same here. You can add different locations. So StudioOne can save the instruments on the predefined locations by you. And the VST folder, I have here my predefined VST folder libraries for VST3s and my VST and the rest of them where it goes. So you can always choose to scan at startup and reset the block list for any broken installations or any VSTs that you decided to remove from your system. And you can always choose to scan at startup. Decide that, have in mind that if you scan at startup, it might take a bit longer for StudioOne to start properly. Talking about less than 30 seconds depending on your system. If you have a brand new system with a Ryzen or Threadripper AMD, I don't know, or a 9 Intel and 32GB RAM, that would take less than 10 seconds or 15 seconds, let's say. But if you have like a 5-year-old or 10-year-old system, that would take about a minute. So I'm always having that at disabled state, and I scan whatever I want to scan. So, and in advanced mode, do you want to apply changes? No. And in advanced mode, you have the option in editing. You have editing, automation, MIDI, audio, console, synchronization, and services. And you, on the editing mode, you have the option to expand layers, enable crosshair. You have here colorizing tracks, so event names. So you have tons of options to go with. Also in the automation, you have the disable events or automatically create automation tracks for channels. You have the option to go with a volume, pan, and mute every time that you create a new track. In the audio, you can also enable or disable the overlaps, record tempo, dithering in playback and export, real-time processing during mastering, and pre-record 5 seconds when you pre-record and how many samples for offset. Pretty cool stuff over here in the MIDI. Very retrospective recording. This is a quite new addition in StudioOne 5. Console, enable undo, colorize channel strips, colorize plugin header. That's quite new feature. It's quite amazing. You can colorize your plugin header. Instrument input follow selection. They're quite good feature for your console. Channel editor follows selection. Audio track monitoring follows record. These are quite new, and you can also have the tape style, like your console could emulate the way that the tape used to work. And you have the advanced features. These are too many to go with in this video, maybe another one. So these are, so let's go in the new section, in the new song. And if you go to the new song here, you'll have some predefined templates by the presonus guys. I'll go with the standard one, the empty one, and I want to show you something. So if you press F3 in Windows or click the mix over here, it enables the console. And if I go to my tool over here, you have some tools that you can choose that represent the console. And if you go to the tool over here, you have some similar but not so similar. You have, I mean, it looks the same, but it doesn't works the same. Okay, so these are the tools that reflect the way that the so you have the tools for editing, for selection, that goes for the editor, and these tools, they reflect how the grouping and visibility for the mixer. But I want to show you something about so you have the instruments here on the left hand side, so you can maximize it here and go for the full screen. Okay, and if you go inputs, you have, so this is my mic over here, and you can expand that. So if you right click, okay, and you can add bass, add effects, VCA, aux channel, and you can audio input output setup. This is what I was looking for. So if you click on that, this is the song setup. So this is one way we can do that. So go to the mixer and right click on that, or we can go to song and song setup, and we can do that. So here you can set up your outputs. So this is the main. You can add another output, like a sub output, and also create a separate Q mix for that. And you can add another output and choose your outputs. I mean, how many outputs your interface has, and assign them to separate outputs. And again, you can create separate Q mixes for that. So this is my this is what Studio 192 interface has, like, I don't know, 32 outputs, and I can create different stereo mixes or individual mono mixes for all my outputs. And as you see, for mono mixes you can create, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. For the mono mixes you just create individual outputs, but for the stereo mixes you create Q mixes. So let's say you have a band that you want to record, and you need to send separate Q mixes for the band, and so you create Q mixes for them. So that's how actually that works, and that can be applied on any interface that you may have in your studio or in your home studio. But I mean, have in mind that every interface is different, so you won't be able to have 32. You might have more or you might have less, but the idea behind this is the same. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. So we've seen how to set up your inputs and outputs in Studio One. So inputs is like, go to the input and add mono inputs that reflect your mic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you, instead of mono, you can remove those and add stereo inputs, sorry. And you can give them a name, like this is the input left that I'm recording now. So this is the mic. I can put mic here, and I can do like guitars, like a stereo guitar input for acoustic guitar maybe, or like drums over here, like a stereo guitar, like a stereo drum, and left, right. So another stereo set for my piano, for example. So this is what I'm recording right now. This is my mic. This is my guitars, the drums, and the piano, all stereo pairs, but only the mic is in mono. So this is how it could work for the existing, let's say, theoretical recording. But I can remove all those, and I can go just with my mic now that I'm recording this video. And I can click apply, and or cancel if I don't want to do any of these changes. And here we go. So thanks for watching this one, and this was one of the basics, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.